Alley back there? Makes sense, is that considered an alley or no?
It's considered an alley, but we're not doing that because they wanted us to do it last year and it costed
What?
between Senses and Candies. There's actually an alley there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But they wanted us to upgrade it last year or something, and they never had all the property owners on board to pay for it. So
Understood.
you ready, Bill?
I am.
Okay, we'll call to order the Lamberton City Council regular meeting at City Hall for June 12th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m.
Does that turn red when it records?
No, it's usually blue,
Okay,
so it should be.
that sounds good.
Okay, the first thing we've got is additions or deletions to the agenda.
What I am gonna add, I did add some information for your packets, one for the zoning. One for the ordinance codification. And I do have a volley email that I'll read for the resolution of 2023-20. But I am gonna add resolution 2023-22. And it's to rescind resolution 2023-05. Having to do with the lead water program. And then number 5, under information for the council, I'm going to add Department of Health, Dollar General.
Anything else?
No, that should do it.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. Second.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. They opposed? None of the agenda adopted. Consent agenda, approval of the minutes for 4/17/2023 EDA regular meeting. May 8th, regular city council meeting, May 30th, special city council meeting, and the June 6th work session for the city council.
I'll make a motion to approve those.
Okay, second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
They opposed? Motion carries. General business, citizens request communication, citizens complaints.
Apparently, here had asked to put on the agenda, but that was at the beginning, like right after our last meeting. I haven't heard from him since, and he's not here, so I really don't know. I think it had to do with the building of the new school, and we had a water issue one day. So I'm not sure if that's what it was about.
They hooked the line, what he was concerned about, I believe, is they hooked a line that was a spider web underneath there. There was multiple things coming off. Anyway, they hooked it. We ended up having to shut the thing down for the repair. And then when we turned the main and everything back on, I flushed the hydrant. Well, it must have pulled some of that manganese and everything down that way. He must have happened to have his faucet on at that time. So got a big slug of it. Nate Erickson also got a big slug of it too that time. But I think that's what it was. We tried to address it and take care of it at the time, and I haven't heard anymore.
What does it do or look like when that happens?
Just that black manganese.
I've never had it, so I don't know. Okay.
Looks like coffee grounds,
Okay.
but I haven't heard anything, so everything must have worked good for him. Nate's, I had to go up there the 3rd time and flush his meter to get everything. Things back on. But I believe that's what Perry's concerned.
Okay, and then we've got the property at 206 Second Avenue East. And I reading the emails and stuff, I think you're handling that just fine, Val. In my opinion, I see they actually have mowed part of it over the weekend or Friday or sometime when I went by there, I seen part of it's mowed, so hopefully when that property is sold and hopefully when the new owner
Yeah.
gets on site, it'll start looking up some. So. If not, we'll keep dealing with it, I guess, like the other ones.
Have they been in and stuff yet?
Yeah, yes, and, you know, yeah, nice guy. He figured it would take him a month or two to get moved in down here. And he mentioned even at that time, it is to work on the garden beds and get fishing up again. But, you know, it's gonna take time.
Okay, anything else?
Um,
Anybody else here for? Okay, then we'll go to building permits. We've got the three, but we'll do them one at a time here. 801 Douglas Street for a fence.
I had just put that other stuff in there from like when my mom and dad lived there. Cause they got that zone. Put it right on the property line.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was added because there was an issue. with where
Yeah,
it was
I just wanted
located.
you to know because this new one is same thing, it's right on the property line, so I just wanted to know that they had been done.
So the variance was already there, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
So it's good. Are you here, Ann? Did you?
Yeah, I mean,
Really? Okay, I'll make a motion to let that one go then. Hold it.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
By opposed? Motion carries. And then we've got 200 Fourth Avenue East for roof changes and deck and stuff that probably won't happen here and that anyway, but I put it on there anyway, so.
I'll make a motion.
I can second that.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And I abstain because it is my house.
Oh,
Then we've got 808 South Birch Street. Garage and kitchen. And that one was a zoning change where, how do you say that?
Garage and kitchen, where did you get kitchen?
Didn't it say it on there?
Said we'll have water and sewer. Where does it say kitchen?
Oh,
Garage and
well,
kitchen.
he had
Oh.
said something about the kitchen, he might be doing the kitchen inside the house.
So anyway, but there was a zoning. How do you say that? Variance on that one? Yeah, so. For.
That's already in place.
Yes,
yeah, that was.
we actually ran it twice,
Oh, yeah,
because the
and I
first
did-
one didn't get
I did
filed
give
or
it to
something,
him.
so. So it should all be fine there too, so.
Yeah, the big thing is gonna be the setback off the alley. But
And the height, that doesn't matter.
yeah, the height's 10 foot and you can go 12 foot.
Okay. I couldn't remember. Thank you.
I'll make a motion on that one.
I'll second.
And a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
By opposed? Motion carries. Public hearing is next on the list, but we've got 7 o'clock, so we'll just skip in at 7. We'll come back to that. In case other people want to show up for that. So then we've got request for council action. Kuhar Park administration fees. And I didn't totally understand what's going on there, but you were here when we started that, didn't we? Weren't we gonna give the option of them come up and pay up here back then?
For
For
the
that-
first year.
Well, it was just the first year. I just remembered.
I
we were-
believe that was,
Okay. Okay. So what are we deciding there, I guess, is the best? That one case, is that what we're,
So is it just the one case or are you looking at the whole fee structure?
Well, there's 4 of them in that group. So they're all gonna be affected by that. And I don't know what to do about, they were complaining about the fee being on the door. It wasn't changed, which I guess I never realized it was on the door down there. It's in vinyl letters. I did go down and But that was just like Memorial Day weekend, tape the new price over it, cause it's like, well, you know. What do you do? Yeah. And then I got a thing up too with the fee schedule of, with the prices on it, just, you know, changes. With the fee schedule at the first of the year. But- So I guess I gotta know if you guys want, what rate you're gonna charge them, and if you're going to say, no, they don't have to go online and they don't have to pay any fees.
For what it's worth, they were aware of the price going up to 400 because I had worked with them this spring. And repeatedly told them they need to get in their stuff by such and such date and. Explained all the fees and that it went up a little bit.
So. That's the season fee,
Or month, yeah.
Month. And that's on, with what you looked at, pretty on point with. Well, the only other one that offers a weekly, still.
Well, I think other ones do, like Plum Creek, once I dug a little further, I think there was. If you went a different way, you could find a monthly rate, but I think they were higher than us.
And theirs is all online, I believe, or can you still pay at, I thought you had to do it online there.
I think you gotta do it online, but,
Um,
and really, we,
so ours is the 400 plus the additional 5%.
right,
Can we build that fee into the rate?
we can going forward, or, you know,
Okay.
I mean, that's up to you guys, it's just. It's like a lot of things, there's a convenience fee,
Right,
this is. the
and I know for
convenience
some
fee.
people, if it. Some people get frustrated about the. Oh, it's this much, oh, but actually it's this much because you got this and this and this, and
Right.
they'd rather see just a upfront. You know, this cost with fees and tax or whatever else has to be on there, but. I think it needs to be the. 400, but yet it was left posted, but they were well aware that it was gonna change this year, so they were personally told. And they knew. So,
Yeah, I think. Just opening up a can of worms there. If we change anything. But my opinion, I guess.
Do you want to allow them to pay by check and avoid the fees from the campsite? The camp spot website?
If we do that, if we take a check from them,
$20.
do we still get charged that fee?
Because it wouldn't go through their system and they wouldn't be, you know, the credit card fees and all that stuff.
But then in the system, it's gonna look like it's vacant until,
No, I mean,
Go in and block.
oh, you can, okay.
It's just more work on our side.
Right, so then it's like, well, there should be an administration fee for, you know what I mean? It's-
Yes, I
it's-
agree. I feel like it should just need to be done online. Or it's either $400 on, this or 400 plus administration fee or whatever, but I mean, we can't really do that because it doesn't say it, but
Yeah, so I guess I'm on the side of just no changes. That's,
Yeah,
we've got the rule.
it is what it is, yeah. And with the price for everything going up, electricity, I mean, I'm sure their air conditioning runs, you know what I mean? I mean,
Right.
it's not a bad price anyway,
in
So-
the $5 lock your spot, how does that work with them?
I don't.
It just, it's a one-time fee, $5, it locks their spot. See, what happens with Camp Spot, it will, if you don't lock your spot in, it can change you. Because if they're seeing like, if there's people coming and going, it uses a matrix that says, okay, if I move this person up here, then this reservation can go here, and thus maximizing our income or revenue. So by locking your spot, you can't be moved.
So they would be locked the whole time. They wouldn't
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah. So I mean, they never have to worry about being moved or bumped or whatever.
Are these some that are planning on staying most of the summer then?
Yeah, they'll be here till October, September, October.
Till Mother Nature kicks them out.
Okay,
Yeah.
They've been, is this the third or?
They're
Third year?
here for sure.
Yep, they're
okay.
And I see where that's a concern because that ends up being just a total of $50 more, but that's still in many months worth of things. That's,
I'm assuming most of these other ones, if they're taking online stuff,
there's fees.
there's fees and then everybody's putting fees on credit cards and reservations and all that stuff, but
We're not charging a fee for the caddy and stuff that we got,
Yeah.
you know, trying to make it more convenient. I don't. You guys.
But do we need a motion
Yeah.
to make it leave it the same?
No, I don't think so,
Okay.
as long as you guys have discussed it and you're not gonna change anything.
that's where I'm sitting. So if somebody wants to make a motion to change it, do it now. Okay, we'll move on. Lamberton building.
Lamberton needs buildings, so Sammy Joe called and they would like to give them the building back to the city. In the purchase agreement we had with them, it was understood that they would have a business up and running within 2 years. The amount of work that the building needs and stuff is just not gonna be feasible for them, so they just assumed give it back now. So I talked to Matt, his only concern is that we do a lien search just to make sure it's not, you know, nothing was mortgaged on it or anything, you know, that kind of thing. And then we could do the process of getting it back.
What's the cost of that? And the services,
I would say about $500,
and can that be,
give it back to them or. Good.
since now we have to do that?
It's completely up to you guys.
Well, and the other option is just say, no, we don't want it back either, but then you might have a. Cause the main cost of that a couple of years ago when we did this was what, 18,000 to tear it down then?
Is that both buildings though? Was that the city drug and the meat
That
locker?
was just that one, wasn't it?
Just the one, I think it was 30 that was both.
I think so. 18 sticks in my head, but. You know, so if we're gonna get it back, we're probably gonna end up tearing it down, which is another. 18, which part of the reason we took this was hoping to save that 18 and of course save the building, but
Right.
that's not working, so.
And I don't know that at this point. We should even try to save it, you know. I think it's to that point.
The biggest problem is there's, that lot just isn't.
It's not wide enough for anything.
Right. If that building's there, unfortunately, it may never be anything there, but. Oh, well, anybody want a building? Let us know in the next month.
I would like a motion to do the lien search or.
But, I mean,
if you
what
would
are,
like to.
so we're just gonna take it back, we're gonna incur an additional $500 cost and then pay to have it tore down?
Oh,
I feel like it should, that cost should be incurred on them, because if we could have done this 2 years ago, because that 18,000 is probably gonna be how much now?
20.
So now the cost has gone up.
That was our choice to not tear it down at that point and to try to make this work.
Right.
I mean,
If you ask for a
but-
lot, what they're gonna do is they're just gonna sit on that building.
just
And
let
like I
it go.
said, then it's just gonna become a pile
And then in 4 years, they'll go to the county, go to sale, and then
Yeah.
will not get bought and sit.
so. Right now, we gotta decide on the lien search.
Yeah,
And then we can actually decide in a month or July or August meeting if we actually want to do something, but if we're gonna be ready for anything, we should probably at least do the lien search.
It's just a little disheartening that it took 2 years to realize that it was
Well,
gonna be
it's
too
it's
much.
disheartening that it didn't work out because
Yeah.
that was,
That I was looking forward to the business.
yep.
Okay,
I can make the motion to do a lien search.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
By opposed? Motion carries. On to another one, 601 Second Avenue cleanup.
So that's actually known as the horse house, where people have left. They've left enormous mess outside. This has been a property that's been a continuous problem. I've tried to contact the owners there in Oklahoma. I never get a response. I did find a couple phone numbers on the internet and I've called those. One was disconnected, the other one, I never get an answer, it just rings and rings. Nick had talked about Cottonwood County, the county will clean up their properties. I contacted Gene Price. They won't clean up the property. I just want to clean it up.
So that's scheduled on the tax sale this fall?
Yep.
So it's been a while since I've been to one of them tax sales, but you can put, or they can put stuff on those. So if we like spend this money, can't they put that as part of the sale that has to be paid even by the new owner?
Well, that's the part I'm not sure on, because I was trying to figure out, because it would be a pending assessment at that point, because before the November.
But sometimes I think you just call it like a contractor's lien, can't we do something like that? Because I thought on some of those buildings, and again, it's been a year since I've been to one of them. But I thought they had like separate things on there that if you bought that, you either, if there's like a road assessment that can stay with it, or they're giving it up. But I thought there was some other fees and stuff on there too, but maybe not, but. I'm just wondering if we can, something like this, if we could put that on that sale, that this has got to be paid.
Right, and my goal would be to try to recoup that cost through that somehow, but. Yeah. John Roguski, I talked to him, he figured it would take him probably 2 days to clean it up and then a dumpster further off.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I went through the alley today and looked at the backyard, and it's not good either.
Yeah, and there's a lawnmower, there's a lot of bigger stuff too, I think.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
terrible.
Yeah. Right now, I can't even mow with all that stuff in the yard, so I say we go ahead and hire him to get it done, and it's done. Do we need a motion for that? I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion on it? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
By opposed? Motion carries. RCA for resignation of Rosie Schultz.
Unfortunately, Rosie has decided to retire after 25 plus years. We did hire, I don't have that in the packet. We did hire Delaney Wilhite as library aide and custodial help for the summer. So hoping that she can pick up that slack for us here for a little bit. Can we get some?
So what we basically need is a motion to accept Rosie's resignation and to advertise for a part-time cleaning position.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. By opposed?
I said I'm sorry, I before, yep.
Okay. I thought you were. So my motion carries. Thank you, Rosie.
Yep, thank you,
Thank
Rosie.
you.
Do you want to talk?
I see you had a, that's where I
Yeah.
remembered and
I don't think we're gonna get anybody for that. Starting wage is $12.14 for cleaning.
And where does it go up to? Like several of the
There
other
is a-
things, we can go up that scale.
Because that was what Rosie was at.
and I guess after interviews, if it's somebody with more experience, we could bring forward a request a higher wage, I guess if we did. But
Top is 16.80. Yeah, that's just a concern of mine. That's something we'll probably have to look at, because I.
So that one. Can you do the old ordinance codification stuff in 5 minutes, or will I just have to stop if not? But,
He gets the hiring part-time officer.
oh. I wonder I didn't have that. Hiring part-time assistant clerk.
So I'd like to hire somebody for 10 to 15 hours. Just to do the accounts, receivables, and the payables. Eventually do maybe utility billing. I would like to, I mean, I think we could be really flexible in the position where they wouldn't necessarily, I mean, if they wanted to work 3 to 7 or something, I don't think that would be a bad thing. So give it, night hours. Have people be able to stop in if they wanted, so. I'd like to be flexible.
Yeah, and flexible is good, but it has to be on somewhat of a schedule, otherwise nobody would know it's open anyway, so.
Oh, yeah, if we had the one night or something for sure, that part is kind of a guarantee.
I'll make a motion. To advertise.
I can second it.
We got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll get started on the ordinance codification. And if we gotta stop, we gotta stop here in a few minutes.
And really, I don't know if we can make a decision on that tonight anyway, but I did get the response back from the one guy, which I put in there, obviously. Some of our codes are antiquated, to say the least. I know we've talked about how to go about this. When I read this, I get a little confused. Because that's $7,000 to $10,000 to go through our ordinances. Well, if we just adopt what the Minnesota Basic Code is, do we have to go through all that? But then if we want to make changes to the codes, how does that play into it? What's the pricing on that? So I don't have a lot of answers yet, because the other place just got back to me. And it was after I printed these other ones out. So
If they're all updated and more to this day and age, it would be good, I think, to go along with that. But you're right, because our numbers and some of the stuff might be a little different. So there's probably some changes anyways, but
so I want to get better pricing and understand it more before we do anything, but I do really. If our goal is protect the city, I know that the league stuff, there's more in there than we really need. But if your goal is to protect the city and make sure we don't have any gray area loopholes, all that good stuff, then we should just do it all and then we're covered, But, and I know there'd be growing pains with it. I know that it wouldn't be easy, I don't think, as far as getting everybody on board, but I do think it's something we need to look at.
Well, so I think we should probably just table that for tonight and
I think.
get a better look at prices and what's all included and how to do it.
Right. I mean, if we're talking less than 1,500, you just adopt the Minnesota Basic Code and go from there. Well, but if we want to make changes, well, how does that work? And that
I'm assuming it would work just like changing one of our existing ones. You just,
right, you're gonna pay.
well, and you gotta do the advertising or.
Oh, yeah,
posting
yeah.
wait
And that's what we
period
have to
and-
do with
yeah,
if we,
so-
adopt the codes, so.
Yeah. Okay, we'll table that one for now. I've got 7 o'clock on mine. This one's just about there, so we'll just wait a couple minutes here. Okay, so we're gonna stop the regular meeting and open up the public hearing for the rezoning request on 203rd Avenue West from residential 1 to downtown commercial.
So then I gave you some additional information that came in today. That's printed out, and then I also got, since those plans from Tony, and then I did give you the zoning map. And the residential downtown commercial. I picked that because that's what's all around there, so maybe it should be something different, I don't know, but that's how that came to be, so I just want you guys to be aware that that was my deal.
What was your deal?
That I chose the downtown commercial for the commercial district.
We got clinic.
It's on there.
Where?
That's R1.
Yeah, I don't think this one's totally updated because we changed
Yeah,
Then what about,
the Benedict one.
well, because I was thinking it should be both sides of the street, because I thought, to me, this looks like that's Jane's and not the clinic. Because wouldn't Jane's and even technically the creamery still be considered?
I would guess, but
I would guess, I don't know.
Yeah, the clinic's not on there. That's Jane's.
Yep, I see now. I thought there was the alley, the right alley. I apologize.
so is anybody here to speak on this? Anybody wanna say anything about it?
I'll kick it off. I think it would be great if we got more, storage in town. We've had other people looked into it too. And I think it's great that Tony wants to do that. I just don't think that's the right place for it. I don't like the idea of putting a commercial land next to our city park. That's not a great fit. As I sent to Val, our, downtown commercial is generally, according to our ordinances, for retail. Not for storage / I don't even know if it fits into where it should fit. But to me, it doesn't fit into downtown commercial. And when you're picking the zoning, it matters because all those zonings have different requirements on what you can do there, what the primary uses, what the accessory uses are for, and also what the setbacks are for it. And that affects all the properties. And one of the things I was concerned about the other day, last month, when this was kind of brought up somewhat, is that it was mentioned, well, then if he could get Al Wetton camps and the business was going well, he'd like to expand that way. Then you're half a block along the side of the city park that's gonna be whatever type of business this would be, retail, industrial, or whatever you wanna call it. So in general, I support Tony's idea. I don't support the location. I don't think it's a good place for it.
I guess I'll speak on that too. I agree with you, Nick, on Tony. I love the fact that you want to do it, and it's not about the idea of mini storage. For me, it's just the location too. So I'd be opposed to it.
I'm in the same boat as they are. I mean, there's a lot of little kids around there, and you're gonna put something like that in and have more traffic. It's ridiculous. And now those semis that come to that garage what Tony owns, you come out of that alley, you cannot see unless you look across the empty lot now. But if you're gonna put up a big storage shed, you can't even see down the street to get out. And that even goes for the ambulance going out. If they have their lights and sirens on, they'll notice. But there's too many little kids too, and it should remain residential. That's my whole thing. And what does something like that, putting in residential to the values of our homes? I mean, I just put $30,000 into mine. And you're gonna start making one and maybe two? No, I don't go for it at all.
Anybody else?
I just had a question as a
Sure.
landowner that got the letter. So like what were your, like the lighting? For me, it was, I had questions on lighting and aesthetics.
I mean, you can always put lights under the stop it.
I just didn't know if it was gonna be like super bright, like
No,
daytime and the night.
I put lights in each unit. I got a switch that going off for people when they walk in, but it probably would be minimal on the outside. Start everything else's.
That was my question, was outside lighting and just aesthetic, like,
Brighter than most places anyways, so.
Hmm?
Some of these lights on some of these houses are brighter than the street lights, so.
What side of the building are you gonna put the doors on?
All four. That's just a rough drawing. Nothing set in stone, or no sense in giving it a drawing on
okay,
something that.
where's the drawing?
Should have been on your stuff that you got.
It's this, it really isn't the building. What size was the building? You have just a rough,
Just 30 by 100 rough weight.
And so how would they access the building?
On Third Avenue. Make that all ramp over. Drive over curb,
Okay,
and then make it all the alley. Stretch.
But right now, that alley gets pretty well used. Burkemeyer's park many of their vehicles on the edge of that. I go a block because they're